Guys, let's talk Cavs for a second. Unless you've been living under a rock and or not paying attention, since December 29th, Cavs have turned a bit of a corner here, Bolt. They are 10-4 in their last 14 games. That's tied for the second most wins in the NBA, only trailing the Los Angeles Clippers, who have 11 wins in that stretch. They have a 116.2 offensive rating. That's ninth best in the NBA since December 29th. They have a 112.2 defensive rating. That's 10th in the NBA. They're one of only 4 teams in the top 10 of both since December 29th, joining the Thunder, the Clippers, and the Blazers. And if you look at the Eastern Conference standings now, Cleveland just 2 games back of Boston for the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. They are 7.5 behind Detroit for the 1 seed, but for the 2 seed, after being in the play-in situation just 4 days ago, they're now just 2 games back of second place in the East. Jason, in your mind, man, what has changed for the Cavs over the last give or take month that has catapulted them right back into the thick of the Eastern Conference race?
I don't have a great answer on this other than like they've always been talented. Like we've known that. I mean, they look how many games they won last year, and I said before they overachieved during the regular season last year and they underachieved in the playoffs. So I think guys are looking at the calendar and seeing what time it is and seeing it's time to go. And we've said it all year that let's wait and see where they're at in January. Let's wait and see where they're at in January. They're starting to put the wheels back on. I still don't fully believe in them because as soon as you start to praise them, they go out and lose to the Jazz or do something stupid. So, I mean, we've seen it in bursts with Darius at times, right? We've seen it. And now obviously he's hurting again. I do think that when they are healthy and when they are whole and when they get Strus back, I think that they are a team that can win the East. I just think that they're looking at the calendar and they're starting to figure out it's time to go. And we've seen the growth in guys like Jalen Tyson as the season has gone on. And what a key piece that he has become to this thing. Who could have seen that coming? I mean, we knew he was good and he had potential, but I think that they've wound up counting on him far more than they thought that they were going to have to when the season began. So I just think it's a matter of looking at the calendar and seeing what time it is.
G?
Man, listen. Now, when I start with listen, that emphatically, the Cavs have been pretty impressive the last couple of days, man. I ain't going to lie. I know it's Orlando. I know it was the Sacramento Kings, but let me tell you something, man. They done found a couple. Naquan Tomlin, love the energy. Love it. I love the fact that he's trying to put you in the rim everywhere. At any time he getting the ball underneath, he's trying to put you in the rim. I love that. And I'm telling you what, I said it, people was going crazy. Jalen Tyson, low key, might be their second best player. Not best, but impactful. What he does, the fact that he is shooting at this clip is wild work. I don't understand how this man is just hands down, man's down. Like, it's just not, he's wide open. He's shooting with he's like, nah, if you leave me open, I'm pulling up with this. He's playing with crazy confidence. I like his build. I like his attitude. I really feel like he's one of those pieces that when you get to the playoffs, he's going to have some games where the national media start being like, who's this Jalen Tyson dude? Like, he can't miss today?
Fifth in the NBA in three-point percentage.
Come on, man.
5.
That's crazy. By the way, here's your boy, McNuggets. You said this a couple of weeks ago. I've been watching since then. Evan Mobley has been taking it. I don't know whether he's seen something on film or they're like, listen, you take the ball 3 or 4 hard dribbles, spin, and dunk on people. That's what you're going to do. If it's 3 or 4 hard dribbles left, if they stop you, jump hook. If it's 3 or 4 hard, like he's aggressive downhill. There ain't no triple threat, slow stuff. It's if you got it, if they don't close out on time, shoot the 3. If not, I'm dribble 2-3 steps and I'm trying to get into the lane in the paint. So he's been doing a great job of that. And obviously, Donovan has just been who Donovan is. He's going to make sure that he's going to keep you in the games. I like how sometimes he's trying to defer and get these younger guys and everybody else involved. And then when I need something, I'm going to finish you out. So I like the way they've been playing the last couple of games. I'll be interested to see if this is something they can sustain because they are making a little bit of a move the way the East is set up because there are a couple of games out, right? And right now, you look at Boston, Toronto, and New York. those teams aren't necessarily world beaters in terms of what they're doing right now. Detroit is 33-11, but let me ask you a question. If it's a 7-game series and the Cavs is playing their best, and it's a 7-game series and Detroit is playing their best, I feel like the Cavs' best is better than the Detroit Pistons' best. Now, they got to get there.
It is.
But they putting themselves in a position where you get Strus back, you get Merrill back. I think that the problem was they wasn't hitting enough threes. Dean Wade has hitting some open shots now. Lonzo Ball hit a couple threes the other day. Now, don't get them to get excited. But Lonzo Ball hit a few threes. So I think that's key to what they're doing is the rebounding and the three-point shooting. And if they can get some guys back and continue to shoot at a higher clip, it's going to be interesting in the playoffs if they continue to play like this.
Yeah, one thing I should have added, you just touched on it. When they rebound, they win. When they make a concerted effort to attack the boards, they seem to have better success at winning. And Evan has been better, I think, defensively lately. And I think that's been a big key to it as well. I do think a lot of it is attitude. But I do, if you want to point out specifics, I think Evan getting back to being a pretty good, an excellent defensive stopper. Their work on the glass the last couple of weeks. And obviously, when you talk about Jalen Tyson, Naquan Tomlin, some of the contributions that they're getting from some of these guys that we were not expecting. Mike and I did the midseason show, and the best grades went to the bench guys, and the worst grades went to the highest, most expensive players. And that's how you wind up as a 500 team when your top stars are underperforming and your bench guys are overperforming. Well, that's how you wind up being where they were. Now, if they can get more, and we've seen more, I think, defensively out of Evan the last couple of weeks than what we had seen previously.
It's really good lately.
Yeah.
Bull, you go. Then I got some numbers for you.
So, a couple things. I do like how they're playing. Outside of the Jazz game, I mean, they've played, that's the only game really where you're like, what the hell was that? Because their other losses have mostly been against good teams. Like they lost to Oklahoma City. Okay, well, what are you going to do? They lost to Minnesota on the road. And Minnesota's a good team. They lost to the Pistons. In fact, the Jazz loss is the only loss since those back-to-back against the Bulls. I don't know when that was. I mean, that was a while ago.
Early December.
Yeah. I mean, that's their only bad loss really since then. All their other losses were to good teams. So I'm not going to kill them for that. I think they're playing pretty well. And I think what we see here, and this is, I'm surprised you haven't brought this up. I just found these numbers, Mike. Evan Mobley is maybe the worst three-point shooter in the league since the start of December.
It was one of the things I was going to bring up that they're playing well.
20% from three.
Has been inconsistent as hell. He's shooting 20.5% from three in the last month, and they're 10-4.
No, not since the last month, since the start of December. So it's 2 months.
I'm just saying in the last month, those are numbers I had pulled.
Right. But in the last 2 months, he's shooting 20.5%. He's made 14 of his last 68 threes. And when did we see him play his best? Like Sacramento was the best game I've seen him play in forever.
Kenny says the best game he's ever played.
So like maybe this obsession with every big guy has to shoot threes. Can we just be like when he's being aggressive and going to the basket, he's pretty hard to stop when he plays that way. I mean, can't we just does everybody have to shoot threes?
I think you have to see if he's capable of it. And last year he proved capable of it. But he may just settle into like this is who he is, and that's fine. We've said it 1,000 times. He's a great player. If this is what he is, he's a phenomenal player in the NBA. Is he everything you want him to be? Okay, maybe not. But he can be a tremendous, tremendous asset to this team. It's just, I don't know if he's a number one. I think they have two phenomenal twos. I don't know if they have a number one on this team. And that's sort of the problem that they're running into. But I think that it's fair to push him and push him and push him and see if there's more and see what the ceiling is. And maybe we found what the ceiling is.
I think with Mobley, real quick on Mobley. And I mentioned this last week. And it's the part that's frustrating with Mobley is he has 2 or 3 games like we've seen the last 2 or 3 where he's been awesome. And then he goes away and he has a game where you basically forget he's out there. And during this stretch where they're 10-4 during the stretch, Mobley is averaging less points than he has in the season, slightly better from the floor, way worse from 3, rebounds slightly down, assists essentially even. So they're doing this without a consistent dominant Evan Mobley, which I think makes the 10-4 stretch even more impressive. The last few games, G, and Charlotte, we saw it in the first half. We saw him do it against Sacramento. We saw him do it a little bit against Orlando. He has made a concerted effort, and the Cavs have made a concerted effort as a team to get Mobley the ball heading downhill. He is not an east to west basketball player. He is a north to south basketball player. Anytime Evan, he's capable of it. He is not great at it. Starts going left to right and trying to cross guys up with hesitations and going sideways. The end result, more often than not, seems to be a shot that I don't think is a good shot for Evan Mobley. Can he make those shots? Sure. I don't believe that is what he is best at. When he starts going north to south, and sure, is he the toughest dude in the world? No, he's not. He's 6'11", incredibly skilled, can finish with each hand, is agile, and has pretty damn good footwork. The stuff that he can do on the move finishing is what tantalizes you, and it's why you believe he does have this incredibly high ceiling that he may never reach because he's not consistent enough and the mentality may not be there. But he does things on a night-to-night basis, and sometimes it's 5 plays a night, sometimes it's 1 play a night, where you go, there's like 7 guys his size in the world that can do that. That's it. And when he goes north to south, which he's done a much better job of lately, he looks a lot more like the player that Jason and I thought he could be one day. And I've sold my stock on that ceiling being consistently enough to where he could be a number 1 offensively at this stage of his career. But he still does some things, man, that can't be replicated and, frankly, can't be defended. He has flaws in his game. He's not perfect. But when he goes north, it's like Jerome Ford, G. Anytime Jerome Ford goes left to right, what does it feel like happens? Automatic, loss for 2, right? Every once in a while, Jerome Ford going north to south, where he doesn't have to make a cut and run a straight line through the hole, has a 60-yard touchdown. It's not apples to apples in that sense, but there are some running backs. There's some receivers that are just better at certain things. Evan Mobley, north to south, is a very effective and hard-to-stop offensive player. Evan Mobley, east to west, other teams are do what you want, dance all you want, dribble. We're good with it, and it usually ends in a bad shot for the Cavs.
You said something. Let's go back and just a little bit. I was going to say Evan Mobley is shooting 20%. Maybe he's not a three-point shooter, but one thing that he has to do, he has to keep shooting it. So the way it's going to work is you ain't got to knock it down all the time, but you cannot be known as a guy who's not willing to take that shot, because if you're not willing to take that shot, then it's a trickle-down effect on everything else, because now I don't have to pay Jared Allen or nobody else, because guess what? I'm clogging the paint. So, yeah, and people help off of you. So he still has to shoot that. And the thing about Evan Mobley, Mike, you said something just now. You playing basketball, you understand this. It's a difference between somebody who's a standstill scorer or a guy that's coming off screens or a dude that can create and then score off the move. That's 2 different skill sets. Like you can, it's a different set of footwork when you're talking about dribbling and getting downhill, or a guy where you move east and west, you setting up for a hesitation or a step back. That's 2 different skill sets. To me, I think Evan Mobley is starting to figure out when he plays with intentional pacing. Like some people play too fast, like slow down, take your time and finish. I think he's better when he's not thinking, when it's like, oh, I'm 2-3 dribbles, I'm already by the rim. Now I can. He seems more confident and more fluent when he's going that way.
So what's funny, G, is I was talking to some people in the Cavs media room after the game on Friday, and we said it feels like Evan has a plan now when he attacks. And the plan is, I'm taking 2-3 dribbles and I'm going to finish. Like, if I don't get to my spot in 2-3 dribbles, I'm passing. If I get to my spot, I'm going to try finishing. That's the plan. I feel like when Evan Mobley doesn't have a plan is when he's dancing with the ball, going east to west, left to right.
Losing the ball.
And trying to figure it out. I think Evan's a quick catch and go kind of player, as opposed to a LeBron level assassin where he's waiting, probing. Oh, you took a half step up with your left foot. I'm blowing. Like, I don't think that's what Evan's best at. He can do it from time to time. We still see it occasionally, but I just think he's so much better going north to south with a plan of 2-3 dribbles max. If it's not there, kick it out and let's reset. And Jason, I'm curious if you feel the same way.
Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Well, by the way, of the 159 players who qualify for the 3-point title, Evan Mobley is 158th in 3-point shooting percentage.
Yeah.
Has he dipped below Lonzo Ball?
I don't know if Lonzo Ball qualifies. Does he?
It depends. While we're talking guards, I'll look up the
ESPN lists 159 guys, with Zaire Williams being the worst. What? Evan Mobley's 158 and DeAndre Hunter is 157 shooting. And by the way, last 8 games, guys, Evan Mobley 66% shooting from inside the 3-point line, 17% shooting threes. Does he have to keep shooting?
Yes.
66% inside the 3-point line, 17% from beyond the arc.
It's not
8 games.
It's not just does he have to shoot them? It's what the threat of him when he's making them opens up for everything else in the spacing across the floor.
Are they leaving him open though? Are they going to
that?
start doing that? Are they going to start leaving him open from 3?
I mean, yeah.
I would
But
assume teams are
I
going to
haven't really
start
paid attention
letting
to
him shoot that.
What's that, Mike?
I'm going to assume teams are going to start
Yeah.
sagging off Mobley significantly and begging him to shoot that 3 because of how efficient he's been to the number you just mentioned at getting to the rim and finishing around the paint. And I bet you, Bull, and I'll look into it during the next step. I don't have the numbers in front of me, that his field goal percentage within the paint during that stretch is even higher. He's been awesome finishing lately.
He's 56 for 85 inside the 3-point line last 8 games. That's pretty amazing.
We've talked about this before, but the progression of Evan Mobley's career has been completely backwards from how it normally goes, because he came to a team, he was dropped into a team that was trying to win right away.
Yeah.
So the development of Evan Mobley was never at the forefront. All of these questions that we're having now and all these conversations that we're having now usually occur during a guy's rookie year and his second year in the league, because you're force feeding him and you're trying to figure out what is he good at, what can he handle, what can he not. With the Cavs, it's been the complete opposite, where early on it was just put him in and we're trying to win, and you're drinking out of a fire hose and keep up as much as you can, and we'll get to your development later. Well, now they are trying to develop him and do some of the things that they didn't do early. And that's not a criticism of them. Like I've said this, I totally get why they did what they did. They're trying to win, especially once you get Donovan here. Once you make the trade for Donovan, you've pressed go on this and you're trying to win as many games as you can. And you're not worried so much about the development of a young guy. And Evan has won a lot of games in the NBA, and that's fun. But they haven't fully developed his skill set because that wasn't the priority. Now they're at the point of like, okay, we've seen how far this team can go with Donovan as the lead dog. Let's see what we can do with Evan. And so it's sort of reverse engineering. Now they're trying to get to all this stuff later in his career. And you're learning what he can and cannot do and what he is capable and what he's not capable of doing. And if this is the ceiling on him, okay, he's a terrific, tremendous player. Is he going to lead you to a championship? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I tend to have doubts that if he doesn't bloom and blossom into everything that Mike and I hoped that he would be and thought that he could be, I think it limits their ceiling a little bit. But we'll see.
Bull, last number, we'll talk a little guards, but since December 29th, when they beat the Spurs tonight to start this 10-14 stretch, shots within 8 feet of the basket. So that's the paint, restricted area, and slightly outside of the restricted area. Evan Mobley is 75 for 103, 72.8 field goal percentage. He is punishing teams when he gets that deep and into the paint, forcing them to change how they're guarding, not just him, but the rest of the Cavs.